Ever wondered what events triggered the collapse of the potent Carthaginian Empire, or how Rome gained supremacy over the Mediterranean? The answers are deeply rooted in the intricate saga of the Punic Wars, a turning point in ancient history. Let's delve into the story of the Punic Wars, which commenced in the heart of the 3rd century BCE. Rome and Carthage, two titans of the ancient world, clashed in what would unfold into a relentless series of 3 devastating wars. Each war had its unique set of cause and aftermath. The First Punic War ignited over the control of Sicily, an island of strategic significance. On our map you will see Sicily right at the center of the Mediterranean, serving as a critical naval base. The long warfare ended with Rome seizing control over Sicily, upsetting the balance of power in the Mediterranean. The Second Punic War, also known as the Hannibalic War, was sparked by the Carthaginian general Hannibal's audacious crossing of the Alps to attack Rome. The territories involved, as shown on our map, included Hispania, Italy, Sicily, and North Africa. Hannibal's initial victories, however, didn't prevent Rome from ultimately gaining dominance over the western Mediterranean and leaving Carthage significantly weakened. The Third Punic War marked the end of Rome, fearing Carthage's recovery, laid siege to the city, and razed it to the ground. The map demonstrates the final territorial acquisitions of Rome, covering the entire Mediterranean region. These wars, collectively known as the Punic Wars, spanned over a century and irrevocably changed the trajectory of history, leading to the rise of the Roman Empire and the extinction of the Carthaginian civilization. Let's dive deeper into the First Punic War, a pivotal conflict that set the stage for the future battles between Rome and Carthage. The root cause of this war was the shared desire of both Rome and Carthage to control Sicily, an island rich in resources and conveniently positioned for strategic naval dominance. As we zoom into our map, you can see Sicily positioned right at the center of the Mediterranean Sea, a vantage point for any empire. The major battles of this war were primarily naval, including the Battle of Agrigentum and the Battle of the Aegates Islands. The outcome of these battles swayed like a pendulum, with both sides experiencing their share of victories and defeats. However, the tide turned in Rome's favor with their revolutionary development of the corvus, a boarding device that turned naval battles into infantry battles on decks of ships. The war concluded in 241 BCE with Rome's victory, marking a significant shift in the balance of power. Rome seized control over Sicily, gaining a strategic foothold in the Mediterranean. Meanwhile, Carthage, defeated and humiliated, was left licking its wounds, setting the stage for the conflicts to come. This war wasn't just about territory. It was a battle for supremacy, a fight that would determine the future ruler of the Mediterranean. The First Punic War ignited in 264 BCE when both Rome and Carthage set their sights on Sicily, an island rich in resources and strategic advantages. The war raged on for 2 decades, with both sides experiencing victories and losses, until finally, in 241 BCE, Rome emerged victorious. As the dust settled on the First Punic War, both Rome and Carthage licked their wounds and looked ahead. Rome, victorious yet drained, sought to solidify its power in Sicily and beyond. Carthage, on the other hand, was nursing the sting of defeat and plotting its return to glory. Enter Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who dared to challenge Rome on its own soil. Hannibal understood that to defeat Rome, he needed to strike at the heart of the Roman Republic. His audacious plan? To cross the treacherous Alps and catch the Romans off guard. It was a daring strategy fraught with danger and uncertainty. The journey across the Alps was daunting, with freezing temperatures, perilous terrain, and hostile tribes. Yet, Hannibal pressed on, driven by the prospect of a decisive victory against Rome. Hannibal's military genius shone in the battles of Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae, where he inflicted heavy losses on the Romans. Yet, despite these victories, Hannibal could not deliver the knockout blow to Rome. The resilient city proved too formidable, and Hannibal was eventually defeated at the Battle of Zama. The Second Punic War was a turning point, not just in the struggle between Rome and Carthage, but in the history of the world. It marked the beginning of Rome's rise to dominance in the Mediterranean and signaled the beginning of the end for Carthage. With the stage set, let's delve deeper into the Second Punic War. The Second Punic War, often considered the most famous of the 3, began in 218 BCE. The Carthaginian commander, Hannibal, took the fight to Rome, crossing the Alps with his army and his war elephants. Despite many victories and pushing Rome to the brink, Hannibal ultimately couldn't overcome Rome's resilience and resources. Finally, let's delve into the Third Punic War. By 149 BCE, Rome was ready to launch its final assault on Carthage. The reasons were manifold. Carthage, despite being weakened, was still a potential threat to Rome's dominance. Rome, not willing to take any chances, besieged Carthage for 3 relentless years, finally causing the city's destruction. This marked the end of the Punic Wars, and with it, the end of Carthage's power in the Mediterranean. But what did this mean for Rome and the rest of the Mediterranean world? The aftermath of the wars left Rome as the unrivaled power in the region, setting the stage for its future as a vast empire. The Third Punic War marked the end of Carthage and the rise of Rome as the dominant power in the Mediterranean. Finally, the Third Punic War, starting in 149 BCE, was Rome's final strike against a weakened and vulnerable Carthage. After 3 years of siege, Carthage was destroyed, marking the end of the Punic Wars and cementing Rome's position as the dominant power in the Mediterranean. To summarize, the Punic Wars were a series of 3 conflicts fought between Rome and Carthage from 264 BCE to 146 BCE. The wars were triggered by disputes over territory and trade routes, and they culminated with Rome's ultimate victory. The First Punic War was fought over control of Sicily. The Second Punic War saw Hannibal's daring but ultimately unsuccessful campaign against Rome, and the Third Punic War resulted in the complete destruction of Carthage. These wars had profound and lasting impacts, shaping the destiny of Rome and the entire Mediterranean world. So there you have it. A trip through time? Revisiting the tumultuous period of the Punic Wars? A tale of power, resilience, and ultimate destruction, these wars shaped the course of history and laid the groundwork for the world as we know it today. The rise and fall of empires, the clash of titans, the Punic Wars had it all. They serve as a stark reminder of the lengths to which societies will go for dominance and survival.